There is some serious crazy coming out of Fox primetime these days, but before we talk about it, some context. Ever since former President Donald Trump soured on the network for accurately reporting the outcome of the election, ratings have taken a major hit. Primetime ratings down 25%, and as Fox viewers have headed over to ultra right-wing conspiracy theorist networks like OAN and Newsmax, one Fox host who has been manning the exits is imploring viewers to stay by giving them exactly what they want. And last night, boy, did he deliver, making a claim guaranteed to get some notice, like a toddler banging their head against the wall to get attention. As House Republicans try to figure out what to do with the newcomer to their conspiracy caucus, Tucker Carlson defended Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh. So how dangerous, just how dangerous is this three-named congresswoman you probably have never heard of? Well, so dangerous that in the name of democracy, she must be expelled tonight from the Congress. That's what they're saying. In the new democracy, CNN gets the veto. If cable news doesn't like your views, you have to leave Congress. That's the rule. The test is entirely ideological. You don't actually have to harm anyone to lose your job. This new member of Congress has barely even voted. She just got there the other day. But CNN says she has bad opinions, therefore she's the greatest threat we face.
Opinions. That's what he calls the following claims that Rep. Taylor Greene has made, that she pushed QAnon quackery, that Trump was the leader who would take out a satanic pedophile cult in government and Hollywood. She's a 9/11 truther. She questioned the attack at the Pentagon, saying, quote, "There's never any evidence shown for a plane," unquote, going into it. She's confronted a Parkland survivor, a survivor of one of the biggest mass school shootings in U.S. history, after questioning whether the attack was actually a false flag operation carried out to mobilize people against gun rights, a claim that she walked back last night in an interview.
These are not red flag incidences. They are not fake, and it's terrible, the loss that these families go through and their friends as well, and it should never happen. And it doesn't have to happen if we would protect our children properly.
Before joining Congress, she appeared to endorse the execution of Speaker Pelosi and other Democrats. She suggested that the 2018 midterms, where the first two Muslim women in Congress were elected, were part of a, quote, Islamic invasion of our government. She's called Jewish Democratic donor George Soros a Nazi. She falsely claimed former President Barack Obama is a Muslim, and she also suggested that Obama and Democrats were coordinating a war to overthrow Trump. Now, those aren't opinions, Tucker. They are lies, unfounded and absurd conspiracy theories, and his claim that Marjorie Taylor Greene's opinions haven't harmed anyone, tell that to the families of victims killed in these school shootings that the Congresswoman has questioned, like Linda Beagle Schulman, the mother of a teacher who was killed in the Parkland shooting as he held open a door to help students escape the shooter, who spoke with us yesterday about confronting the Congresswoman over her false claims about the shooting this past weekend.
February 14th was a really hard day. So, you know what? I do say to Marjorie Taylor Greene, please, you know what? Find your conscience. You're a mother. Man up or woman up, whatever you want to say, and tell the truth. Tell everybody what you told me.
It is curious whose opinions Tucker Carlson chooses to defend. Rep. Taylor Greene's are fine, but when Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, one of the first Muslim women elected to Congress, criticized the United States over its immigration policies, he said this.
She has undisguised contempt for the United States and for its people. That should worry you, and not just because Omar is now a sitting member of Congress. Ilhan Omar is living proof that the way we practice immigration has become dangerous to this country. A system designed to strengthen America is instead undermining it. Maybe we're importing people from places whose values are simply antithetical to ours. After everything America has done for Omar and for her family, she hates this country more than ever.
And when Senator Tammy Duckworth, an Asian American Purple Heart recipient who lost her legs in Iraq while co-piloting a chopper, said she was open to a debate about removing statues honoring historical figures like George Washington because they enslaved black people, he said this.
But when Duckworth does speak in public, you're reminded what a deeply silly and unimpressive person she is. But to morons like Tammy Duckworth, Washington is just some old white guy who needs to be erased. Tammy Duckworth is not a child, at least not technically. She is a sitting United States senator who is often described as a hero. Yet Duckworth is too afraid to defend her own statements on a cable TV show. What a coward.
Now, the difference between Tucker Carlson's disdain for the opinions of his two frequent Democratic targets and his affinity for the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs spewings of the Georgia Congresswoman is a glaring one. Carlson's viewers believe him, and that is a shame. Last year, a judge overseeing a slander case against Fox, which was dismissed, quoted Fox's lawyers for making an argument the judge deemed credible. Quote, "The general tenor of the show should then inform a viewer that Carlson is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and is instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary." The judge goes on, quote, "Fox persuasively argues that given Mr. Carlson's reputation, any reasonable viewer arrives with an appropriate amount of skepticism about the statement he makes." Fox called it a victory for all defenders of the First Amendment. So let's just remember that as Tucker Carlson sets out on his latest sad quest for relevancy, even his own employer, the corporation that writes his checks, says he's full of it. Just a short time from now, President Biden will be